And I say we hit them 20-1. Every time they hit us, we're going to hit them 20. And we did it last night. We did a little something today, but it was really retribution for last night. They hit.
Power isn't just about possessing the world's largest military. Real power lies in convincing your adversaries that challenging you simply isn't worth the price. And for decades, that was America's greatest strategic advantage in the Middle East. It wasn't only aircraft carriers, stealth bombers, or sprawling military bases that kept rivals in check. It was something even more powerful: the belief that no one, yes, no one could strike the United States and escape without paying a devastating price. But that belief is now being put to the test. As fresh tensions mount, US President Donald Trump has warned that if Iran attacks again, America will respond 20 times harder. Tehran, however, isn't blinking. The IRGC has claimed responsibility for strikes on American military bases in Kuwait and Bahrain. At the same time, Iran's parliament speaker, Ghalibaf, delivered a blunt warning to Washington: America will pay. So is this merely another chapter in the decades-old US-Iran rivalry? Or are we witnessing a battle over something far bigger than missiles and military hardware? Well, we are talking about the battle of ego. Don't be puzzled, and let's break it down for you. Now, to make sense of today's tensions, we need to rewind the clock by a few days. Following attacks on commercial vessels passing through the Strait of Hormuz, Washington pointed the finger at Iran. President Donald Trump ordered fresh strikes on Iranian military targets. According to US Central Command, the objective was clear: degrade Iran's ability to threaten one of the world's most vital maritime choke points and safeguard freedom of navigation. Soon after, Trump defended the operation on Truth Social. He described the strikes as a direct response to what he called Iran's attack on commercial shipping. Then came his strongest warning yet: if Iran attacks again, the United States will respond 20 times harder. But this wasn't just about launching missiles. It was about restoring deterrence. Washington wanted Tehran and every other adversary watching to believe that confronting the United States would carry unbearable consequences. Tehran, however, had a very different message. Instead of stepping back, Iran struck back. The IRGC announced what it described as the first phase of a punitive response. It claimed missile and drone strikes on American military bases in Kuwait and Bahrain. Then came another warning. Iran's parliament speaker, Ghalibaf, declared, if you strike, you will get hit. He also warned that America would pay for what he described as Trump's bullying. Whether those strikes caused significant military damage is still being independently assessed. But strategically, military damage may not have been Iran's primary objective. Tehran wanted to demonstrate that even after American strikes, it still possessed both the capability and confidence to retaliate. Its message was unmistakable: we are not backing down. And that matters, because deterrence depends just as much on perception as it does on firepower. And this is where the story becomes much bigger than missiles. Wars are fought on battlefields, but power is measured in perception. And for decades, America's greatest strategic advantage wasn't merely its overwhelming military strength. It was the widespread belief that no nation would dare challenge it directly. That belief discouraged rivals long before the first missile was ever launched. Today, that perception is being tested. Trump is threatening overwhelming retaliation. Iran is responding with missile strikes and warnings of its own. Neither side can afford to appear weak, because in geopolitics, credibility is a weapon. If your adversaries believe you will always dominate, deterrence works. But if they begin to believe you can be challenged and that the consequences are survival, that image starts to erode. That's why this confrontation is drawing global attention. Not because Iran has suddenly matched America's military power. Well, let's be honest, it hasn't. The United States still possesses unmatched military capabilities, global reach, and unparalleled network of alliances. But Iran is trying to prove something very different. It wants to convince the world that American military superiority does not automatically guarantee psychological dominance. Then there is another critical factor, the Strait of Hormuz. Nearly one-fifth of the world's seaborne oil passes through this narrow waterway. Every escalation here sends ripples through global energy markets, shipping routes, and economies far beyond the Middle East. That's why the consequences of this confrontation extend well beyond Washington and Tehran. The missiles may stop, the rhetoric may eventually cool, but the battle over deterrence, credibility, and prestige is far from over. Trump says America will strike even harder. Iran insists America will pay. Neither side wants to blink. And history reminds us that great conflicts don't always begin with one catastrophic strike. Sometimes they begin when two determined rivals become equally unwilling to take a step back. And that's a wrap from my side. Thank you so much for watching, and I am Tamanna Akhtar signing off for Times Now Digital. Until next time, take care and keep watching this page for more such videos.